Hi guys, so today we are going to be doing Omni Droid World Part 2. So let's get into it. We are going to be doing story. So obviously, some soldiers are doing their march. Because most soldiers do that. A military march, whatever you want, really. Most of the soldiers obviously do not know what the Omni droids are. So, they go in the main habitat of the Omni droids, the jungle. Soon enough, a lot of soldiers are in this march. However, most of them struggle to get up this hill. That is when they encounter the first Omni droid variant. They attempt to march, but the Omni droid uses the hill and uses it as like a barrier. The Omni droid, obviously the soldiers realize there's something wrong, and they stop walking because who is gonna keep on walking when they see a giant Omni droid hungry for kills? So obviously, this is the first incident of the Omni. The first time the Omni droid was seen. The first time the Omni droid was ever seen happened here. The first time the Omni droid ever had combat. However, the owner of this is unknown. Everything about them is unknown. Even their name is unknown. So, the U.S. military obviously sends a giant tank. I'm just saying the U.S. military because they're the strongest military, even though it's very likely this did not happen in the U.S. Anyways, the Omni droid obviously never encountered a tank before and does not know how risky it is to go head on with a tank. Obviously, the tank goes on fire. But the tank is also destroyed in the process, basically. So the Omni droid kind of won. But the Omni droid is starting to get injured. It really is not doing the best now. Right now, it's not doing the best. And the other tank is actually the Omni droid is dead. Now, the first variant of the Omni droid was killed, unfortunately, but there's another variant of the Omni droid that doesn't have extendable abilities, but has a lot more hand-to-hand combat. So, as more vehicles come in to attempt to kill the giant monster, especially transport trucks. Because who wants a giant Omni droid that no one knows even existed up to a couple days ago exist? Who would want it to exist? Who? Obviously, some soldiers attempt to throw themselves at the Omni droid, because what else can they do? However, most of the soldiers are not that dumb, but some are. So yeah. While that truck happens, these soldiers actually get their guns out, their machine guns, whatever they have. So they come out, and the Omni droid.
Imagine battling with your favorite Star Wars heroes.
I don't know.
Will you command the dark side and strike fear into any opponent? Or choose the light side and defend the galaxy? The choice is yours.
Yeah, guys. Skip it. Yeah, you guys can keep on switching skipping the ads, so it doesn't really affect you. It does affect me though. Anyways, the soldiers become a lot more smart, and they don't head on a giant killing machine anymore, at least anymore. Obviously, the Omni droid gets what it wants for a little while. Except when one of the soldiers tries to steal the most ammo possible. But that ammo doesn't do much to the giant machine until he gets a flamethrower. Flamethrowers are much more strong, basically, to Omni droids and stuff. The guy thought the flamethrower would burn the Omni droid, basically. Well, it didn't quite do that. The Omni droid is fire resistant. The first Omni droid was not fire resistant, but now those flamethrower tanks earlier don't have an effect on him. No one knows if there's a way for this Omni droid to get destroyed. No one knows, because all of the U.S. military's attempts to have ended in heavily disaster. Matter of fact, it's bigger than a disaster, it's a crisis. Most people still don't know about it, but as soon as the public knows about what's going on, they're going to be concerned about the USA surf safety. However, not to worry, as there is still at least one more hope that we have here. And it is to use all of the vehicles that we have to finally kill these monsters. But no one knows if anything can beat the Omni droids. They're just way too strong. That's why armed trucks come into play. They shoot at the Omni droid. The Omni droid obviously doesn't take that lightly, but the truck doesn't back down. Even when its cannons should. Still a truck. The disasters of the Omni droids were giant. But at least we're not going through Project Kronos, which we will be going through now. The first spotting of Project Kronos, no one even knew about it because the soldier that saw Project Kronos didn't exactly live long enough to tell his buddies. Matter of fact, he died on the spot. This Omni droid was already out. It just was kind of not really in produce. It was way more stronger than most Omni droids. Matter of fact, it might be the strongest one we ever saw. Obviously, the military attempts to stop him, but that was the army that significantly damaged V2. This is V3. That is V3. That is V3. Who knows what happens when the other versions come. This is actually V9, but there is more stronger Omni droids. The other ones didn't quite make it. Obviously, this thing is heavily bulletproof. Rocket launchers is basically like a bullet to a tank. A 2mm bullet to a tank. That's what rocket launchers do to this giant thing. 50 cal. It's like comparing 50 cal to thousands of tons of metal stacked. It's strong. It is strong and not the best thing to fight when you are not another Omni droid, obviously. It is not weak. Matter of fact, if it was weak, the US military would not call hundreds of tanks to try to show it. It's actually strong. Pretty strong. For viewers of my channel, they most likely seen this Omni droid before. It's not like they haven't seen it. But the military doesn't know what to do. So, they engineer someone to fight this Omni droid. Sure, he isn't as big as the giant thing, but there is a small chance that he could win against it. Also, he has a kamikaze trap. Ultimately puts in the middle of it. Now, the fight doesn't start yet, but the Omni droid is about to calculate what will happen, and boom! Engulfed in flames. Does it kill the Omni droid? Of course not. It won't kill the Omni droid. It will just hurt it.